Hello lovely people, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Reads Stuff. I'm here in the book shack. It's quite late, it's nearly 9:30, but a neighbour has only just finished angle grinding and is still intermittently drilling for some reason. There were sirens going all over the place a couple of minutes ago, and the kids are still playing out, so if you hear some noise, I do apologise. It's Sunday. It's time for my weekly reading wrap up. But first, I got some more gifts. That lovely Dave Brzezinski, who runs the Cult Detective magazine, put a guy called John Connor, pointed him in my direction. And I got an email out of the blue from this guy called John, who runs something called Crimecopia. And he said, would you like to review a couple? And I said, yes, please. And so he sent me these. Chicka Chicka Boomba, all by women authors. Murderous Ink Press is his company. And it's based in Lincolnshire in the UK. So this came out earlier this year. This is the 4th anthology, and it's an all-women anthology. And this Crimecopia also came out earlier this year. So this one came out in March, and this one came out in June. Lots of good crime stories to get to grips with there. Looking forward to that. So thank you, John. Thank you, Dave, for pointing John in my direction. I'm very much looking forward to those. What have I been reading this week? Well, to start with, I finally finished Wolf Hall, which was one of the 10 books I hadn't read. This was really good. It wasn't an easy read, though. There's a lot of jumping backwards and forwards in time. I know a bit about the Tudors. I have studied them before, but not to any great extent. It's beautifully written. Winner of the Man Booker Prize. I don't know why it's taken me so long to read it. It was shortlisted for the Orange Prize for Fiction in 2010 and the 2009 Costa Novel Award. It was the 2009 Booker it won as well. I mean, it's chunky. It counts as one of my big books of summer. It's fascinating. Every other person is called Thomas. So if you haven't got your Tudor Thomases sorted out, best you do. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. Was that the only book? Oh no, the other book I finished this week was where have I put it? Here it is. There's the front cover. We'll Prescribe You a Cat. It's by Syou Ishida and translated by E. Madison Shimoda. And I read this for a number of reasons. That is actually green. Oh, it's gone. That is actually green on the cover. It looks blue. It's not blue. It's green. It's also non-killer animals. So that's a couple of GarbAugust boxes ticked. Also, it's Women in Translation Month. Oh, excuse me. Syou wrote this in Japanese. In fact, it was a bestseller in Japan. I don't know what it is about the Japanese. I've mentioned this before, the Japanese and cat books. Anyway, this has been translated into more than 30 languages, or is due to. There's also going to be another one called We'll Prescribe You Another Cat. And here's the cat in question. The cat is there. It's an old grey and white cat. It's called Bee, as in Bumblebee. This is about a guy who's pretty dissatisfied with his life. He works for a large corporation where humiliation is the name of the game. He's a salesman. He's not that particularly good at selling, and therefore the public humiliation in the forms of dressing downs in front of all the staff come in his direction quite often. He's beginning to feel the effects of this, so he has been seeking the advice of every psychiatrist and mental health practitioner he can find. It doesn't work. Eventually, he is recommended by the friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend this particular practice, and he trudges along, goes to find it, and it's in this dingy back alley. It's very small. There's one receptionist. It's at on top of the 5th floor as well, and there's no lift. There's a receptionist and the specialist. He hasn't got an appointment, but he goes in to see him. The guy listens to him for a little while and says, "Fine, we'll prescribe you a cat." He goes, "What?" And he comes out. The nurse comes in with a cat in a basket, and it's this cat Bee. And the guy thinks he's joking, but he isn't. So Kagawa, who is Shuto Kagawa, who is our hero, trundles out with a cat in a basket and a prescription. Hands the prescription into the receptionist, and she gives him food, cat litter, a cat litter tray, and instructions that he's got to read. He takes this cat home. He likes the cat. Him and the cat get on well. And a couple of days later, he's fired. And so, in a mad strop, he packs up the cat and all the stuff, and he takes it back to this clinic. And he said, "I got fired. I didn't want to be in the job that I was in, but I didn't want to get fired." And the clinician says, "We'll prescribe you a cat, but we'll prescribe you a cat for longer this time. There's different instructions." How is B, the cat, going to solve the problems in Shuto Kagawa, Shuto Kagawa? How is this cat going to solve the problems in his life? Well, you're going to have to read it to find out. I really enjoyed this, and I love a book that ticks 3 boxes. Now, I am buddy reading. I am buddy reading this. The Prague Cemetery by Umberto Eco. I am buddy reading this with Gavin at Genre Books and Alan at Alan's Reads. This is a real twisty-turny mystery. We have a narrator who is recounting. He's recounting this character called Simononi, who is writing some memoirs. Now he's writing them because he wakes up one morning in his rooms in Paris and finds a cleric's outfit there and some other bits and pieces. He's not a cleric. He doesn't know where it's come from. And it's very complicated. It's very complicated. He's a bent lawyer. He specialises in forging manuscripts that help people inherit stuff. But he's suffering from memory loss. So he decides to write things down. And intermittently, a cleric starts adding to his pages. He has no memory of the cleric, but the cleric seems to know about Simononi's life. Now, this guy hates everybody. I mean, literally everybody. He hates Jesuits. He hates Jews. He hates the English. He hates the French. He hates the Italian. He was born in Piedmont, France-Italy borders. It's set in the 1800s, starts off in the 1830s and it goes onwards. Now, this is beautifully written. I'm not sure I'll catch up with the plot until it's finished. I haven't discussed it properly with Gavin and Alan, although Gavin and I do agree that it makes you hungry, because littered throughout this are references to gastronomy. We've got a few recipes in there. He's forever eating out at posh restaurants. And I keep going off on tangents as well, because my knowledge of European history isn't up to this book. At one point, I ended up watching a 25-minute YouTube video on something called the Bronte Massacre, which doesn't involve Emily, Anne, or Charlotte. But the only video I could find was in Italian and was subtitled quite badly. So that was interesting. But I do have to keep dashing off to look things up. I'll tell you more about this when I finished it. It's got, this edition is about 420 pages, and I am just about to start chapter 22, is it? Yes. So I'm on 294. It's all going to make sense at the end. I am sure of it. It's really good, though. I am joining in the reading of Go Down Moses for Faulkner in August. I'll put the details of all of these below. So far, we have read 2 stories. Are we starting the third one? I'm actually starting the third one tomorrow because my weeks start on a Monday. I love the way Faulkner writes. Last year we read As I Lay Dying. There are obviously problems with Faulkner in that he was very much a writer not only of his time but also of his region. But there is a dark humour that runs through the books and stories that I have read so far. Go Down Moses is a series of 7 interconnected stories. There is a Voxer group in which we are discussing, I haven't contributed very much, but we are discussing the stories, and someone very helpfully has posted a set of family trees to show how all the characters in these stories are interconnected, and it's very complicated, and there's a lot of very similar names running through. I think I don't know whether I think it's probably more difficult for a modern reader than a reader contemporary to when these were published, because words change, terminology changes, there's very much a vernacular here, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to get your head around it, but I'm enjoying it so much. And the final thing I've been reading this week is T.S. Eliot, and I've left that book inside. The love story of Alfred Prufrock was our first foray into T.S. Eliot this August, and it's quite a melancholy poem, but the images that it throws up are really quite something. There's a wonderful piece in there where it's talking about a yellow smoke, and the smoke is described as you would describe a cat wrapping itself around things, curling and rubbing up against things, and it's just lovely. This week and next week we are reading The Wasteland. I have read parts of this before. Don't know that I've read all of it, but I'm really looking forward to it. Everybody started Friday because the 1st of August was a Friday, but like I say, my weeks start on a Monday, so I shall be starting tomorrow. And that's about it for this week. Everything I've read this week has been brilliant in a different way. Yes, and very different books. Now, this week I'm not around much because I am on grandson duty for the beginning of the week. I am going first thing tomorrow morning, and I won't be back till Thursday. I am very much looking forward to spending some time with him, and I won't be reading when I'm looking after him because, quite frankly, he doesn't sit still long enough, and by the end of the day, I'm shattered. There is a reason people don't have children at my age. So anyway, don't expect much from me until, like I said, I'll be back Thursday, and hopefully I will then get round to doing my Grapes of Wrath, East of Eden. Which are we going for? Thank you for stopping by. It's always lovely to see you. And can I also say a big thank you to all of those people who responded to my plea for help last week and went and had a look at my new channel, The Creative Book Shack. I really appreciate you. I have 54 subscribers in a week. I am blown away. Thank you very much. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. I've got to go and upload this yet. Thank you for stopping by. Always lovely to see you, and I shall speak to you soon. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.